We're back on Larry King Live. That's the fingers of Ted Rowlands holding the latest edition of the Santa Maria Times. Not guilty on all counts. Understand, Ted, you also have a poll result, right?
Yeah, CNN USA Today Gallup poll is out already on this. Verdict in the Michael Jackson case. 34% of those polled say they agree with it. 48% say they disagree. This is an interesting one. Outraged by the verdict in the Jackson trial is the question. Yes, 24%. No, 73%. Clearly people maybe not agreeing with the verdict, but by no stretch of the imagination outraged. And then the question you asked everybody, are you surprised by the verdict? Yes, 47%. No, 52%. The latest.
Surprised, Cynthia?
Of CNN and
Are you
USA
surprised
Today.
at that poll?
I think that's really interesting.
34% supported and 47 don't?
48% disagree with the verdict. You know, it's really hard, especially when you're not in the courtroom, Larry. I mean, it's easy to have a 3,000-mile-away opinion. And I think that, you know, those of us...
Well, you haven't attended the trial.
Yeah, we haven't seen it all. I mean, one of the virtues of having a camera in the courtroom is that the public actually has a much more informed opinion because they get to evaluate the witnesses for themselves and not through the filters of those of us in the courtroom.
Jane Mitchell, why do you think more people aren't upset? They may disagree with it, but only 30% or less than 30% are upset.
Because they've been hearing about this case from the beginning, and they've been hearing about the problems with this case, the timeline, the conspiracy charge that was so problematical, the cover-up. The conspiracy begins 19 days before the alleged molestation. And people, pundits, have been saying, what are they covering up before an alleged incident even occurs? And the jurors themselves said during their news conference that the timeline did bother them. There were a lot of things that just didn't make sense and add up about the prosecution's case, and they never fully explain them away. And you can't convict somebody because you have a gut feeling or something doesn't seem right when you have a 98-page jury instruction book.
Chicago to Reverend Jesse Jackson, the spiritual advisor to Michael Jackson, founder and president of the Rainbow Push Coalition. Were you surprised, really?
Well, I had a queasy feeling. Really, I felt the pain and the stress. I hoped for the best. I really expected the worst, in the sense that the jury was never sequestered, and there were really two trials. That was the public media trial, and that was the courtroom trial. And then in the media trial, you had the talk show host, whether it was Nancy Grace or O'Reilly and 1,000 others, said Michael was guilty. Over and over again, court TV, Michael is guilty. And yet in the courtroom, they discern opinions and impressions from fact and evidence. And they were able to make that distinction, and I was delighted that they did, but I was not sure that they could.
Did you talk to Michael?
This morning, he called me this morning. We did have a talk today. Michael has had a combination of the extreme, excruciating pain in his back, a fall he had in Munich, Germany, complicated now by the stress he is going on there. And I suppose with that kind of pain and stress, it takes away your appetite. So he lost a lot of weight. But somehow his own sense of his own innocence. And he felt confidence in this jury, confidence in Mesereau, and he felt that he would be, in fact, exonerated today, and in the end, that happened.
Did you pray with him on the phone? What was the call about?
Well, he called because there was a concern about the outcome of the trial today. And throughout the thing, excuse me, I've said to Michael, as he declared his innocence, that if you have, the jury has the fate, you must have the faith, and God has the power. That you are a champion. And sometimes, excuse me, champions fall down, they get up again. The ground is no place for a champion. I tried to keep his spirits bolstered.
Thank you very much, Jesse. Reverend Jesse Jackson, the spiritual advisor to Michael Jackson from his hometown of Chicago. We'll be back with more of our panel. Don't go away.